Plaintiff Scott Hall and his wife Ann rented a house from the defendant. And soon after they moved in, she started harassing them and even threatened to burn their house down. They're suing for a rent refund, a security deposit, and harassment. Defendant Megan Mathis says everything was fine with the plaintiffs until Ann posted derogatory comments about Megan online. She's countersuing for defamation and unpaid rent.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you all.
We moved to Missouri in January from Wisconsin, a big decision we made in life. I paid 6 months up front with rent. When we got there in March, she started sending harassment messages and vulgar messages.
Don't say a word until she's finished, all right? We're not going to do this. I read, and you all have been putting restraining orders against each other, threatening each other and all this. So you're not going to come in here doing all of that, interrupting each other, clowning and fussing and arguing and all of that. Go ahead, ma'am. What were you saying?
So she texted me one night and said she was going to burn the house down.
Let's start with you renting from her and how that went. The agreement you all had, and how was your tenancy from the first few months?
We signed an 18-month lease. We were there 4 months, and she applied for an eviction, but we decided to move due to the harassment and the threats that were coming from her.
When did you move in?
We moved in January 7th.
So in April, you decided to leave?
April 27th, yes, because they said that was the best thing to do instead of going to court.
What had gone on before that, between January and April?
She got kicked out of her place in Jefferson City, so she wanted her place back because she was renting. And then she wanted her own property, which she wouldn't have to pay rent on. She wanted her own property back.
When did she tell you that?
It was actually through a call in March.
She called you in March and said, I'd like to get my property back from you guys.
Yes.
And was there a discussion that there's a lease that would prohibit that?
I did say I had an 18-month lease.
What'd she say?
It was up to her discretion if she wanted to break it.
That's what she told you?
Yes.
All right, and the harassment that caused you to leave, that had to happen between March and April?
Yes.
All right.
March 24th to be exact, sir.
Okay, what started that? Now you can start there.
She wanted to come in the house and look for mold and check the furnace. She was bringing somebody COVID positive into the house. I worked in healthcare and hospice. I was sad, I'm not allowing it, plain and simple. I even said I would call the police if she tried. She said, go ahead and do that. Nobody's gonna stop me. I did call the police, I did file a report. They said that they couldn't do anything as a civil matter to file for a restraining order. I did do that.
Okay.
The judge told us it was landlord-tenant issues, be adults and go talk about it.
Right.
We walked out of the courtroom and my husband said, let's talk about this. She screamed for the guards. She's like, guards, help me. We didn't even do anything wrong. The guards came running, they told us to leave. My husband said, we will wait for you outside to speak about this. She had the guards escort her out to the car. She went back and filed the same day that we were just dismissed, the restraining order. She filed for one against me and my husband.
Saying what?
A restraining order saying we were harassing her.
All right. You have the restraining order there with you today?
I do.
What page is it in my evidence?
Mine that I filed against her is on page 9.
All right, and it should be able to tell me. Yeah, I need to see what the allegations were. And it says he was granted because stalking. All right. Landlord stalking, that's what it says. All right. And was a hearing held after this was filed?
Yes, it was.
In 30 days, and what was determined at that hearing?
They dismissed it due to landlord-tenant. They said we need to work it out, we're adults.
Okay, got it. All right, and then let me allow her to begin her side now. Ma'am?
Yes, I I posted my property on Facebook Marketplace. Anne is the one she was somebody who responded to it. So they asked if they could come see the property. Said that they could. They had mentioned that they had housing authority, that they would be transferring in from Wisconsin. Said they wanted to be closer to family. Said they had 2 kids, so that kind of tugged on me because I am a teacher and everything I do revolves around kids. So COVID going around, was not per se excited about using the housing authority because I've heard horror stories about the tenants that they don't, treat your property the best, and you have to really do a good, thorough job of the background check. But I know COVID hit hard, and I know people wanted to be close to their family. So we agreed on the lease. They had paid 6 months, said they could pay 6 months up front until the housing authority could transfer their paperwork. Felt like that was fair, so they paid the 6 months, had not received the paperwork for several months. It was probably April, May when I got the paperwork. Noticed that Anne had called me before I got the paperwork because I actually had to go get the paperwork from them. In the process,
Let me stop
Anne
you there.
had...
Before the paperwork came, had you told them you wanted to live in your property?
No, sir. I work in Jeff City, but I live in Columbia.
Okay, so you never said I just
No,
want
sir.
my property back.
No, sir.
All right, go ahead.
So it started then, took the paperwork home, and had sent a text, which is actually on, I do believe, page 24 of the evidence, saying, hey, can you please let the housing authority know that rent, 24 is when we agreed that they'd be out May 1st. It will be May 1st due to me not lying to you at all, which was in regards to is the paperwork. She was asking me to file fraudulent paperwork on the housing authority.
Ma'am, did you ask her to file fraudulent
No,
paperwork?
I did not, Your Honor.
Okay, and she refers to a text where it says, it will be May 1st due to me not lying to you at all?
She said that I had 2 dogs there, and I did not have 2 dogs.
All right, so it had nothing to do with the paperwork?
No, it did not, Your Honor.
Okay.
It had to do, they added 2 people actually, so if you see the lease, which is 2, where it says that it was just them and their 2 kids.
Okay, first we were talking about the paperwork for housing.
From the housing,
now
yes.
we're skipping to something else?
Well, no, just so you can refer to that it was just Anne and her husband and her 2 kids and
What
their
does that
dog.
have to do with the paperwork for
Their
the housing?
paperwork, they added 2 people, 2 adults.
On the paperwork?
On the paperwork, yes, sir.
Okay, and you didn't sign on to this, obviously.
I had not. I actually reached out to Ann and Scott and asked them what those 2 individuals were, who were they. I did not agree upon that. They said
So
that
how does that become relevant?
So the lease, and then with Ann asking me, so on page 15, you'll see we are at Housing Authority, and they said we don't qualify for $1,300. So when we fill out the paperwork, will you put $1,000, and we will pay you an extra $300 to you.
All right,
so
that's
we qualify.
what you mean by scamming.
Yes.
Okay.
And so at the time, I did not do my due diligence, and knowing, I told her yes, I would.
Did you do it?
Well, once I got the paperwork, I noticed that there was nowhere on page 5
What was
for
your
me to break it
answer
down.
when they asked you to do it, ma'am? How did you answer that? Did you say, I will?
I said I will because I thought there would be a...
Whatever the reason, you agreed to the scam.
Well, I thought there would be
let's not make reference to the scam.
No, I thought there would be a place for me.
You participated in it.
No,
you
sir.
You told her yes. She asked.
Because I thought there would be a place. I did not do my due diligence, so I thought within the paperwork that I have to fill out as a landlord, I could put, yes, I agree that the housing authority will pay $1,000 and that the tenant would be responsible for the other $300. That was my understanding. Not that I was going to scam. And so if you look at 5, I actually put it in there, $1,000 from housing authority, $300 from tenant. So so when I was like, that doesn't seem right, so let me call. And then with the 2 extra added names, I called housing authority. I then contacted Ann and Scott, and they said, Scott actually mentioned that housing authority added the names, that nobody even went into the office. And I said, how about we all go down to housing authority to figure this out? This is my first time working with housing authority, and so I'd like to get this settled. So no, I did not agree to fraud.
Okay, so what happened?
then that's when the harassment, that's when the messages on Facebook saying that I harassed them.
No, in terms of the legal process.
So the legal,
you said, let's go down to the housing authority.
They wouldn't go. They wouldn't go.
So did you give them an eviction? She said you started an eviction process.
I did not. I did not start eviction at that time because we had agreed that they were going to be out at the end of the 6 months.
Okay.
We had agreed upon the date. They had paid for the first 6 months. So at the end of that 6 months, which would have been the end of June.
And so what happened then? Were you satisfied with that response?
I was satisfied with that until I started to get, my mother called, my dad called and said, you know, Megan, what are you doing? And I was like, what are you talking about? There's messages all over. It's a program called Nextdoor.
When?
I want to say it was in about April. It was a program called Nextdoor. It's where you can say local plumbers, this kind of thing. And you can say, you know, if you need a plumber, a babysitter, or whatever. So I find out that Ann had posted stuff on this website.
Asking for what?
Didn't ask me for anything, but then said that I was outside of the house all times of night, calling them cracker and other derogatory marks. First of all, my car is fully
you have
wrapped.
evidence of that? What page?
Of what she posted, I do.
Yes,
It's page 41.
Okay.
And
What
so,
did you want to say, ma'am? I'll let you resume.
I did post it because I asked for advice. I said, what do I do? I need help here. We can go and talk
Good
to another
enough. What
person.
happened in June? I'm sticking with facts and not.
She evicted.
that
She
relate
went
to the eviction.
Yeah,
pardon?
Well, first it started with the text messages and the harassment.
When?
March 24th. It's on page 44, Your Honor.
But you had already told her you were moving?
Yes, in June. I told her I would go in
You
June.
said I'll be leaving in June.
Yes.
So what am I to see on page 44?
She said very rude stuff to me, and this is what made me go beforehand, because on page 45, she threatened to burn the house down with my children in it.
And I will be coming by the house tomorrow with the contractor. We will be there at 5:30.
That was about letting her in with somebody that had COVID.
Nope. Sorry, I will not be here. I'll be at work. I work until 7. And why are you coming? Scott said he would take off work, so someone is here, but I would like to know what you are coming for. Yes, she should tell you that. I'm having someone look at the house. She says, I just have to give 24-hour notice. You don't need to be there. That has nothing to do with you. We will be there at 5:30. It will be like someone is there. She says, I just have to give 24 hours notice. Correct. Rent has nothing to do with me bringing in someone to look at the house. If you would like the police there, that is fine as well. This is what she's saying, in case you're worried. I guess she's saying that she's going to take something or whatever you're worried about. You say, not when she was exposed and in quarantine. Got it. We can get the police involved if you like, but you have every right to be concerned about that. That's fine. You can call the police. This is harassing. Just give me 24 hours notice. That's fine. If you don't wear a mask in that home, didn't ask you to, yeah, you all are fighting over something that is, shouldn't be fought over. You had every right to refuse her on that, ma'am. So good luck. There's no safety issue. You cannot enter. You better go back to school. This is you telling her to go back to school. All right, here go the insults. So first you tell the woman to go back to school. And I don't know what you thought she would say to you. She shouldn't have used a racial slur, but what this appears to say, listen here, you white bee, I am coming in my house whenever I want, and you can keep sending me messages. I will get you for slander. You're going to give a woman a hate speech, and then you go tell her about slander. All right? I don't care if you have any numbers on speed dial. All right, so you're arguing about that. You all have a legitimate argument there. I must give it to you. Ooh, girl, I'm sorry, not ma'am. I'm sorry. Oh, ma'am. I don't mean to call you
Sir,
girl,
can
but you little white, see? How dare you even post anything that is said to you? Okay, it's because she posted your stuff. You got upset. All right, but you got to stop all this.
But can you read the
I'm
next
telling
one?
you all this name calling, ma'am.
I am half white is what she didn't realize at the time. My mother is white, so I'm half white. So to call her a white this or white that or racial
You have that
slurs.
right, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Me said, but if you read,
I don't know the new rules in that area. I know when you're half and half. I don't know the rules.
Right,
But I
but
know
that
one
would-
rule: if you are the direct opposite, you cannot say that.
Well, no,
And
I
if
did
you
not,
are the
sir.
same, 100% perhaps, or nearly one, majority the same, then yes, white folks can say that to white folks, black folks can say in to black folks. The opposite race can't say that
It was
to each
never
other
said, Your
because
Honor.
if they're saying that to each other, it's in a negative connotation and it's
Absolutely.
degrading them and it's
Absolutely.
trying to hurt them using racial words. So if that's you say the New Deal is that, I don't know.
No.
I
I'm
can't
saying
keep up.
it never happened. So if you look at my page 41.
I just read that it happened. What are you talking about? I read it.
No.
You said it didn't happen. What didn't happen?
She went
What
through an
didn't
app.
happen?
Those messages I didn't send.
Oh, somebody else sent them?
There's an app out that you can actually do that.
You're on
So
a
if
phone
you
record.
Well,
read,
hold on. So why are you making this explanation?
Because
about
I'm
you? Now,
just
be
saying-
quiet and listen, because I don't believe you. I believe you did it, and now I'm about to throw you out. Why are you making you laughing? It's not funny. Your case is
No, it's
dismissed.
not.
I believe you're lying
not.
about race. I believe you said it.
but no, I said I would never
Talk
say
over me
that
all you
because
want
I
on the
am
way out
half
the
white.
door. Talk
I
on the
would
way out
never
the door.
say that
Bye.
because I am.
Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day. You're out of here. Your claim is dismissed.
Thank you, sir.
No, that they're piece of people, and they know I didn't say that. I was saying that I would never make that comment because I am part white. So somebody that's a scam artist got over again.